What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be your, I guess I don't want to call it midweek recap because a little awkward 4-day week today. We are filming this on Friday, so this will be the end of the week recap. I'm not going into Friday, but on Friday. And so yeah, let's just jump right in. Let's get right into it. Talk about some of the opportunities this week, some of our trades, and how we handled it, and what kind of opportunities out there. So QQQ, to start it off, how we usually start these videos, just with the indexes. Again, they don't do much for us, but we like to keep an eye on it all. Kind of rounding out here, just a little bit, kind of, we call this maybe a triple top at the highs, certainly a massive bounce back since the whole tariff fiasco. And we're back, but, sometimes straight V recoveries is not always too common. And so pulling back here doesn't shock me. So there might be some weakness in the market in the coming weeks if we do pull back more. There is still some scares with the whole Iran, Middle East scenario. So something to keep a watch on there. But in terms of other opportunities, start us off, Huddy. What were the main? Because we have some larger caps in play that aren't necessarily following the overall indexes, but like are following our momentumous or our momentum style per se.
Yeah, it's been a short week, but it's been quite an eventful week across the board. We have one stock that's not a penny stock, but it's putting in the penny stock like framework of patterns. So I think that's where we should start. I think the one stock that everyone and their mother should know about is CRCL. If you just want to flip to that chart right now, and I think Kyle, you started talking about it day one on in the Clover Trading, where you were saying like this IPO deserves some type of at least attention just because it's in the crypto space, and we've seen so many stocks in the crypto space be strong. If you've been following along with these weekly videos, what is the news here or the IPO?
So the IPO, it's Circle. Circle is the It's not even I want to say the owner, but no, it's like it literally is the company that runs at USDC, which is the second largest stablecoin behind Tether. So Tether is worth, I think, 100 and something billion in its stablecoin. Circle is number two, or USDC is number two at like 60, 50 billion. And so Circle is like the stablecoin USDC is Circle's sole product and business model. So like this is crypto. Like this is the second biggest stablecoin company, in the world. And so I wish I was more aware. I knew what Circle was, but I wish I was more aware of how big they actually were, given the fact that the IPO'd at 60 something. And like, obviously all of the money in Circle is not their money, right? It's a lot of people's money. Plenty of people hold stablecoins. But like, again, Circle's the capital, and not to go on tangent, but the capital in USDC is like 50, 60 billion. And I think the market cap of Circle here was below 50 or 60 billion. And I'm not saying it has to be exactly the amount of money, because again, it's not their money, but just the inefficiency of how maybe underpriced this was down here in relation to how the market would view it, or how valuable they would find CRCL. Makes me want to go back and actually take this long seriously, because lo and behold, we're up, 200%, almost 300% higher from the IPO pricings lows. So just very, very impressive move the last 2 weeks here.
Definitely means that they got it wrong on the pricing.
Yeah, big time.
So yeah, this has been kind of the I guess talk of the town, and maybe it doesn't end here, but it's these IPO stocks have been absolutely insane to start this year. We had NMAX earlier this year that went on quite a big run. Now we're having CRCL go on a run. Really nice price action. I mean, if you're like a day trader of sorts, I think it's put in a lot of great patterns, from first red days to consolidations that hold near the highs to further breakouts and stair-stepping breakouts that come out of that. So just something my biggest trade of the week was buying the breakout over 165, and just being aware that these stocks exist, right? Like just being in a room where you have watch lists, you have, traders that are scanning for stocks, big percent gainers trading massive volume. These things should be on your watch list and ready to be attacked when the pattern or your system shows itself, if it shows itself.
Yeah, epic breakout buy. I don't know if we were on the phone, but we were chatting together when Huddy bought this, and I totally talked myself out of it. But boy, you couldn't have asked for an easier breakout to then make practically $60 a share. Super impressive. The other one that is running as well, and still running, but much at a slower pace than what it once was, is CRWV. Right, IPO'd around, and also in the 30s, roughly, or not in the 30s, but not also, but just in the 30s, based for a longer period than what Circle did, but then eventually got into this run, and here we are still finding its way higher. Again, not as maybe smooth or as rampant as it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, but we have still yet to pull back and are still trucking higher there. So, and this one's, I think, in the AI space. I forget what it, like data center-ish AI space, if you remember that correctly. So AI and crypto, the hot themes of 2025 so far, and this one keeps running largely. But anyways, Dom, any other tickers you got on watch that you want to mention or are watching?
Yeah, I think if you traded this week, you probably were aware of the stuff going on in the Middle East, which kind of, several times over the past couple years, 3 or 4 years, we've seen oil and gas and energy plays kind of start to pop up. We had some new gappers of new stocks that we hadn't really seen before. We had some oldies like HUSA, Indo, HUSA kind of being the bigger runner over the past few days. Ended up going on a little bit of a run and then having a quite a solid reversal off of what day was that? Tuesday.
Yep.
And ended up turning into a breakout. Unfortunately, I know Kyle played it. Unfortunately, did an offering or had some dilution news overnight, which has been the case. I feel like with this sector, every time it's gotten hot since 2022, we've seen a lot of dilution and kind of a lackluster continuation of these runs. But on that day, we also had one of the newer ones that popped up, RBNE, which was a really nice sympathy play to HUSA that day. Did have some dilution on that backside there, but after that move into the 20s down to the fives, ended up having a really solid bounce back into the 13 or 14 area. I know I traded that one. That was kind of the big trade for me this week. Came into my wheelhouse. Again, that's the kind of the cool part about Clover is you have a bunch of different perspectives on how to trade these things. And, maybe Huddy and Kyle are interested on that morning, but, that was the bulk of my week was watching those stocks on that morning. You had other stocks in the sector like TMDE, OP, some other runners that we had over a course of a few days. Never really turned into big patterns, for us. But we're on watch and we were drawing the comparisons there between potential hot sector and some sympathy plays. But yeah, you probably traded those if you're trading small caps throughout this week, and kind of a cool mix of a little bit of sector momentum, some reversals, some breakouts on some bigger caps that also kind of fit into their own little sector. So it's been an interesting week. I haven't taken a lot of trades, but we haven't had a ton of like day one gappers that turned into runners, but there have been, if you've have prioritized the right things and keeping the right stocks on your watch, like Huddy was saying, there was definitely some opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny. There's also INDO is the one I think everyone mostly remembers because everyone has muscle memory from this in 2022. But since then, it's the first time was the best time, and none of these have really been able to conjure up that level of a move since. But the funny part, the one thing I wanted to mention about HUSA is when you look at the chart, I'm sure some people who at first glance when we first pulled it up, a minute ago, they're like, what? This is a move? But when you actually look at the pricing, because it was such a higher price so long ago or so recently, this went from 4 to almost 25. We're talking 5x in just 5 days. Kind of insane upside. And again, unfortunately, the breakout just didn't work because as much as these are in the right space at the right time with oil and gas and just the fears in the Middle East, they have opportunity to go up, but they are still unfortunately penny stocks for a reason. And so HUSA and RBNE doing offerings, the next following day on what was it, Wednesday after a Tuesday run, doesn't shock us or doesn't shock anyone who's been in the penny stock space for as long as we have. So it's unfortunate, but they had some good upside while they lasted. And it's not technically over, right? INDO or any more in the Middle East conflict could keep these moving and shaking. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much the main movers, right? It's 4-day work 4-day work week. Thursday was closed. So a little bit more of unique opportunities than maybe a plethora of them, but still plenty of awesome upside nonetheless. So anyways, guys, stay tuned for the next video of our watch list for next week. Hope you guys nailed these opportunities. If you didn't, time to study up and get ready for next week. But yeah, catch you guys in the next video. Peace.